You know, I did find it strange how quickly Ash was climbing up the ladder in the World Championships, but I just thought that they would focus more on Go, having Ash do less battles overall, not actually have him lose enough to drop back down to the normal class. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, episode 36 of the Journey's anime titled Crawl Out of the Sand Tomb. Ash and Go just dropped, and in this episode, Ash is struggling and Go is surging. What does that even mean? Well, let's find out. So, a lot of people were upset that last episode, Ash didn't show signs of being upset over his loss to Bee. Heck, even I was thinking about bringing it up, but I decided against it because I wanted to let this episode play out before I said anything. And you know what? I'm glad I did. The beginning of this episode shows that it isn't Ash losing to Bee that made him upset. I mean, that wouldn't really make sense because in that same episode he vows to get revenge on her. No, it's instead the two back-to-back losses to the cephalopod type Pokemon due to his loss of confidence because of the Bee battle that makes him upset. It's interesting, during the series we've seen a few times where Ash struggles with battling after a loss, but this time it's mostly on himself and his lack of self-confidence leading to this issue. In the first battle, he has Ryolu play a bit more defensive against Octillery than usual because he's worried about getting caught, and because of that, he actually does get caught and KO'd with Octazooka. But again, while he's a bit upset at this loss, he's ready to go again when he sees another challenger accept the World Championship battle. By the way, I'm just going to assume that he takes Ryolu to a Pokemon Center between the battles because they just transition over to the next battle pretty quickly. Regardless, his second match is against a Tentacruel, and similarly to his first battle, his doubts of getting close make his Ryolu turn around right as he's right next to the Tentacruel, making him get caught and getting KO'd with Poison Sting. And this is the battle that pushes him out to the normal class. The episode then jumps over to Hoenn as they have a sandstorm blocking the road in Mauville City, and it seems like the sandstorm is singing, causing civilians to be lured in. Back in Sakuragi Lab, they're investigating the sandstorm and the potential unknown Pokemon causing this, and when Go hears this, he wants to go in as a research fellow to potentially capture this unknown Pokemon. We then see Ash in the corner, depressed about his loss. I mean, it's more about the fact that he got put back to the normal class than his loss, and this is meant to be more comedy than serious as he's dragged out by Go to Hoenn. When they go to Hoenn, the storm is still there, and it isn't until they hear singing inside that Ash perks up. They decide to go in the storm with everyone, including an invisible Sobble, wearing their goggles. Inside the sandstorm, they first rescue the three civilians who went in earlier who were falling down a sand pit created by Trapinch. Go captures the Trapinch using a super curveball, and they save the three civilians who go on their way. Then, they hear the singing again, and so head deeper into the sandstorm, where they spot a Vibrava, and Go tries to catch it, but fails initially, but then the second time, he throws another curveball which Vibrava dodges, only for Rabu to kick the ball right towards Vibrava, getting it caught in the process. Right after that, a giant Pokemon comes out of the sandstorm with red eyes, none other than Flygon. The battle with Flygon is interesting in how we see Ash's doubts manifest themselves. Even though he just heard the Pokedex entry for Flygon, he has Pikachu use Thunderbolt, which doesn't work since Flygon is part ground. This is why I was a bit upset earlier in the series when this happened in the Golurk episode. Because now, was it just Ash not paying attention, or was it something deeper? Because you used him forgetting typing as a joke in the past, this moment probably doesn't land as well as it should have. Regardless, then Ash switches off to Ryolu and then continues to use the same move over and over in Vacuum Wave because he doesn't have the confidence to get close to fight again, and this eventually does lead to him being eventually defeated by the Flygon using Dragon Rush. Go, on the other hand, continues to battle. The interesting thing about Go's battle are his strategies. First of all, I think this is the first time he's used Sobble in a battle actively. I know he's used some moves from Sobble last episode when facing Team Rocket, but that came off to me more as Go just using Sobble since it was nearby. This time he actually calls on it to battle. Go notices things in battles that Ash usually would, but currently isn't due to his funk, such as moves being absorbed by the Sandstorm to harden it, so he uses Water Gun, and predicting Flygon's Dragon Rush attack by listening to it. It's made pretty clear that Go has picked up a lot from Ash's battling style, and just by looking at him battle, which shows Ash's influence towards Go. and that's made abundantly clear when he uses the famous Ash strategy of jump on boulders in the air and attack, when he uses Ember by jumping on a bunch of Draco Meteors to another rock to break through it, cracking the rock into 1,000 pieces and hitting Flygon, allowing Goh to capture the Flygon. Ash is stunned at how good Goh is, but Goh reminds him that this is his strategy and that he finds that the moves you work on are the moves you practiced with are the moves that actually work. Even if the move doesn't work, you just have to be creative with how you use it. And Ash realizes that he's been fighting really dumb lately and says that he needs to start over his training, and that's the end of the episode. It's interesting that they chose to do this episode right before the next episode where Ash is heading back to Alola, the place where he became champion. To me, the fact that Goh is now telling Ash how to battle really puts into perspective how much the loss to B affected him, more than just being depressed would. Ash has always been a creative fighter. That's been one of his defining traits even from the start of the series. Having him lose one of his defining traits is a big deal. Because of that, it'll be interesting to see how he regains it in his time in Alola, because this isn't something you can just skim over. If you committed to Ash restarting his training, we need to see it. And I really hope this is something that the writers have put some thought into. Also, I'm not sure why, but this is one of those episodes that just makes me feel like they might be phasing out Ash for Goh. Ash is now developing into an incredible battler as well as a capturer, and he's also taking on a lot of Ash's personality. Currently, is it to the point of replacing him? No, but still, if it happens in the future, I wouldn't be surprised because this last few episodes really shows Goh's character a lot more than Ash's. So, overall, this is a pretty good episode. I'm glad we didn't get a fully depressed Ash episode because honestly, I'm sick and tired of those. Even after losing, Ash has a pretty good attitude about it and wants to persist and keep battling. In this case though, it's just that he doubts himself and doesn't want to fight up close, but it's not like it makes him super bitter or unlikable. Goh comes off as super strong here too. His battling skills have improved tremendously since the start of the series, and he's capturing ridiculously strong Pokemon now like Flygon by himself essentially. It'll be interesting to see Ash try to regain his fighting instinct in the coming episodes, and I can't wait to see what happens. You have no idea how happy this preview makes me as we're now heading back to Alola. And it looks like most of the gang are here too. There's so many things where I wonder if they'll even address it, like are they going to talk about Burnett's pregnancy, Ash's championship, Kiawe's training, Lana's trip, Sophocles' trip? They probably won't, but still, it's really cool to see him go back to Alola to visit his Alolan family again. I cannot wait. And that's it. Episode 36 is now in the books. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, like, share, subscribe, and in the comments, let me know your thoughts on this episode. You can follow me on Twitter at TheRealPdGaming, and that's it. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.